Okay, so we did all evil fruits. And there's apparently all god fruits in One Piece, so we're gonna
Face
be
fam
looking
goes
at
in here
that
from
today.
animaechan, and I'm back at it again to discuss another One Piece video. This time, I'm discussing the most hype subcategory of devil fruits, one even
Hyped.
more rare than mythical zones. That's right, today I'm discussing god fruits and all.
So I'm guessing god fruits are the top of the shelf. That's the best, the best stuff you can get.
Users of said god fruits. If you do enjoy these One
the
Piece
good
videos
stuff.
and want to keep them coming, you know what to do. Channel Pirate King within and smash that like button. Be a smashing Pirate King rather than passing Orochi, and rumor has it you'll get fireworks straight from Wano to your screen. Make this the you subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell to turn on all notifications or you will miss future One Piece videos and updates. And now without further ado, let's jump into it, spoilers and all. So as I mentioned, this is not just another video about Mythical Zone fruits. I already made a video on all of those. Link in the description.
Mythical Zones as
Here
well.
we're going beyond just mythical,
Well,
and
you guys keep on telling me that every video I watch is outdated, even though it's been posted like a
actual
week ago.
gods and deities
Like,
of
come on,
myth
man.
rather
I don't know,
than just
dude.
mythical creatures. A quick example of what I mean is Pegasus, the flying horse, and Zeus are both mythical figures, but Pegasus is just a mythical creature.
Wait, that
Zeus
was my
is a
literally. That was my question, dude.
beyond just mythical and talking about actual gods and deities of myth rather than just mythical creatures. A quick example of what I mean is Pegasus, the flying horse, and Zeus are both mythical figures, but Pegasus is just a mythical creature while Zeus is a mythical god or deity. Similarly, I'm only covering fruits that are based on figures that have been labeled gods or deities. Let's start off with Yamato and the Inu Inu no Mi model Okuchi no Makami. Inu means dog and the rest of the name means large-mouthed, true/pure god. In other words, we could just view it as a wolf god fruit. Specifically in the series, it is referred to as a guardian deity associated with guarding Wano specifically. The Makami is the deification of the now extinct Japanese gray wolf, which was worshipped as a guardian of humans in Japan.
And that's in One Piece? You can have that fruit?
Protecting the good and punishing the wicked, with protecting people against evil, especially from hardships caused by fire and robbery. As a result, it makes a lot of sense that Yamato's powers are associated with ice, an element that did well to counter the dangers of Kaido's blast breath and also of Kanjuro's fire. Some Ice Wolf God attacks include Namuji Glacier Fang, Yamato's ice equivalent of Kaido's blast breath. It's truly impressive that the attack is strong enough to cancel out Kaido's blast breath.
I really like that there's all these like mythical like powers that
then there's Mirror Mountain, a defensive technique that allows the user to surround themselves with ice in order to defend themselves from an attack. Yamato used this technique to defend against Kaido's attack, and besides the ice cracking and breaking off like glass, Yamato seemed unharmed by the strongest creature's attack. Hollowed Glacier Slash allows the user to surround their weapon with ice powers, increasing its force. Yamato used this to knock Kaido down, despite the fact that Kaido used his own weapon to try to block the attack. Aside from named attacks, Ice Wolf God users can freeze opponents, create walls of ice to protect themselves, and even help protect bombs from going off by surrounding them with layers of protective ice.
Moves, man.
The fact that the attack names in Japanese reference gods, like Namuji being a reference to a Japanese deity, and Himorogiri being a pun on Himorogi, which refers to sacred altars used for kami worship, also helps to solidify this fruit's position as a god fruit. Strength-wise, Yamato was able to hold off Kaido, the so-called strongest creature in the world and the Yonk with the largest bounty at the time, for a significant amount of time, a very impressive and noteworthy feat. If Yamato and the wolf god fruit didn't stay behind in Wano, it's
is that because she ate the fruit?
Hard to believe that the other remaining forces would be able to hold off such powerful threats. Number 2 is Kaido and his Uo Uo no Mi model Seryu. This fruit lets him transform into the Azure Dragon. In Chinese myth, the Azure Dragon is considered one of the dragon gods.
So she ate that wolf, Japanese wolf mythical thing, fruit, and then he ate this dragon fruit.
So as with Yamato,
or like god dragon fruit, but so he was still stronger than her.
Fruit, the word god or deity is specifically used in reference to Kaido's devil fruit, which is a big thing we're looking for when deciding what fruits deserve to be in this category. And it's not surprising that Kaido has one of the few god fruits when we take into account that it's probably one of the big reasons he gained the title of the strongest creature in the world. Just as Yamato is able to transform into a wolf or human-wolf hybrid, Kaido is able to transform into a dragon or dragon-human hybrid. Notably, Kaido's fruit is a mythical mythical model of the fish fruit, suggesting that it's a reference to the Dragon Gate myth, where if a carp or koi makes it to the top of an almost impossible to climb waterfall, it will then be transformed into a powerful dragon.
What?
Think Magikarp and Gyarados from Pokemon. A lot of
That's a cool myth. Because obviously the fish, salmon, right? Is it salmon that tried to go upstream?
things about Kaido's powers are godly, including the giant size of his dragon form and how it looks as it flies around dominating the skyline.
What's
this
the
form
X
is so big, it's
on him?
believed that he could
What does that mean?
accidentally wipe out the entire Kuri region of Wano in a drunken stupor. I mentioned that the dragon power allows one to fly around, and that's possible because of the flame clouds that the dragon can create and then use as footholds. The flame clouds are strong enough to hold up an entire island like Onigashima. Another cool thing about this god fruit is that it allows Kaido to incorporate multiple elements into his attacks. He's not bound to one element as Logias are. We obviously know about his blast breath and how he can shoot fire blasts from his mouth. He can also summon lightning bolts with his roar, cutting blades of wind, tornadoes, and in the One Piece video games, even large.
Dude, he controls all the elements. I thought because he's like blue, I thought he's maybe like water related or has to do something with water, but it looks like he got fire, he's got thunder, wind.
In the video games, he's even stepping on Yamato's territory. A notable technique he has is Flame Dragon Torch, where he surrounds his giant dragon body with fire. This flame dragon form is so hot, it instantly melts everything it comes into contact with. In order to fight it, one needs to have mastery over advanced haki techniques like Luffy did. If Luffy didn't learn to emit his haki, he would not have been able to hurt Kaido without physically touching him, and so he would have had no chance against this form. And it's notable that Luffy only managed to take Kaido down after he awoke his fruit, and we discovered that
this is from like the newest.
Had a god fruit the entire time. It took a god fruit to beat another god fruit in this case, which makes sense. So now let's take a look at this god fruit that helped Luffy to beat the so-called strongest creature in the world. Although it was once thought to be a paramecia called the Gomu Gomu no Mi, it was relatively recently revealed that this fruit is actually a mythical zone called the Hito Hito no Mi model Nika, aka the human fruit model Nika. It derives its name from the sun god Nika, and when the five elders are talking about it, they even
so that's what everyone was telling me. The sun god. So that's what Luffy ate.
Particular fruit has the name of a god. But until it is awakened, aka until Luffy unlocked Gear 5, it primarily possessed the properties of rubber, and so the government succeeded in keeping its true nature largely under wraps by labeling it as a harmless paramecia. The government has been trying to get it for over 800 years, but as a zone with a will of its own, the fruit has been escaping their grasp all this time. Once they almost had it before Shanks took it away again and eventually brought it to where Luffy ate it. The five elders describe the myth of Nika as follows.
Nice
quote,
one.
Possessing a body with the properties of rubber and fighting in whatever way he fancies, bringing smiles to the faces of the people, the warrior of liberation, also known as Nika the sun god, awakening brings his rubbery body greater physical strength and freedom. It is said that in all the world, there is no power more ridiculous, end quote. If you want a rundown of all Luffy's fears, we also made a video about that.
How is that not the strongest? Because these are ranked in the strongest, right? From weakest to the strongest? How is there stronger ones?
But here I'll be focusing on the Awakened Gear 5, since it is the true nature of this god fruit. In this gear, Luffy is able to tunify himself and those around him to an unprecedented degree. He's able to grow his fist large enough so that he can grab Kaido's giant dragon body as if it was a garden snake. As he pulls Kaido, Kaido's eyes pop out from his head like in the old cartoons. Luffy can effortlessly swing around the giant dragon, banging him into the ground over and over again. Not only can he tunify himself and others, he can also tunify the world around him. In one case, he turns the ground to rubber and pulls it up to deflect Kaido's blast breath. Luffy is even able to fight Kaido from the inside out, and in one instance, he brings his hands out through the back of Kaido's eyes in order to grab his nose.
Inside out?
Noted that this would seemingly be much more deadly for Kaido if Luffy's powers weren't active and allowing Kaido's body and eyes to stretch in such impossible and cartoonish ways. But it's all part of Gear 5 Luffy having fun. At one point, Luffy becomes so big
he's just having fun.
Kaido's giant dragon body as a jump rope. He
no
survives
way.
the full brunt of
Luffy's
blast breath and even flies through the air after it by moving his legs really quickly again, just like in the old cartoons. He avoids taking heavy damage from Kaido's kanabo by becoming extremely stretchy to the point where his nose and tongue take the exact shape of the spikes of the kanabo. He then dampens the attack of another strike by making the floor beneath him rubbery. He even punches Kaido through the face.
He's unstoppable.
Because of Toon logic, Kaido's face is whole when the attack is finished. I hope it still delivered insane damage though. Luffy keeps doing entertaining stuff throughout the fight, like catching lightning and then throwing it like Zeus, using it as a pole to spin around, and even creating a giant hockey-infused fist that even makes Kaido's dragon body look small. However, Oda is not going to let Luffy's victory just be the result of his
I feel like he's just playing around, man.
Point out that the best fighters are masters of Haki. Haki is so important that many of the strongest characters in the series didn't even need devil fruits because their Haki was so strong. Kaido then takes the form of the flame dragon we already discussed, and Luffy has to combine his devil fruit power with his Haki mastery in order to actually hit Kaido without touching him. And that's what we saw from the sun god fruit so far, but chances are this is only the tip of the iceberg, since this fruit represents the freedom to fight however one fancies.
So there's more.
The fact that
Interesting.
No matter how ridiculous the fruit is, it's made clear that it's practically useless without Haki mastery. So even though the fruit seems overpowered, Luffy can still continue to become stronger by improving his mastery over Haki, which will arguably be the most important aspect to him becoming the Pirate King. It should also be noted that the Sun God Nika figure is a symbol of hope and liberation for the oppressed, and that is why the government is especially scared of it. It's not just about strength, its very existence may inspire the people of the world to rise up against the world government. Next, we turn to the other mythical human fruit, the Hito Hito no Mi model Daibutsu.
He's fully golden.
Human fruit model Buddha. Daibutsu means giant Buddha or great
Buddha.
Now, when we think about deities of different world religions,
Actually a god.
we usually think of the Buddha, but it should be noted that the Buddha is not actually considered a god in Buddhism. Still though, the Buddha is the central figure we associate with the religion, and you can find golden Buddhas in temples and other places of worship. So for me personally, I can see putting this into the god fruit category as well. The hype fruit also goes to a very hype character, namely the former fleet admiral Sengoku. It's a fruit that even stands out among the other OP fruits the admirals under him had, like the magma fruit and the glint fruit. The fruit lets Sengoku turn
there's so
into
many
giant
cool
golden
fruits.
Buddha. We can assume his strength increases to match his giant
How'd you
size.
follow all of
We
them?
know little of the fruit, for instance. We don't know if Sengoku used his hybrid or full zone transformation at Marineford, and we don't know if Sengoku had to awaken his golden form like Luffy had to awaken Gear 5. At the very least, the idea of awakening it would go well with the Buddhist idea of enlightenment. However, we luckily did get to see the golden Buddha.
Oh my god, what a badass.
Not only are his physical attacks strong, they hurt Luffy even if he puffs up his body, but he can also release golden colored shock waves that appear to seriously hurt the Blackbeard pirates. The cool thing about this attack is that you can attack, as we saw, multiple opponents at the same time. In the anime, we even saw that the golden shock waves are powerful enough to clash with / hold off Blackbeard's Gura Gura no Mi shock waves. Since the Gura Gura no Mi is considered the strongest paramecia fruit, you can't deny that the ability to counter it is fitting for a god fruit. The other confirmed mythical zone fruits, although great in their own right, wouldn't necessarily make it into the mythical god fruit category. For instance, I wouldn't put the Hito Hito no Mi model Onyudo, aka the human fruit model Onyudo here, which is Onimaru's fruit, because the fruit is based on a yokai, aka supernatural spirit in Japanese folklore, but not a god. Same with Orochi's Hebi Hebi no Mi model Yamato no Orochi, or Snake fruit model 8-headed serpent, which is a legendary creature, but even in its own myth, the actual god in it is the Shinto storm god Susanoo, a name you may well remember from Naruto.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. They're not actual gods, so
mentioned here, they would fall more so into
status.
the mythical creature or spirit category than the god category. Obviously, this is not an official category yet and may never be, but I think it's a useful one and makes the actual most OP mythical zone fruits
that's interesting,
seem
actually.
rarer and more special. And although we don't have any other confirmed god fruits, I have made videos about potential other god fruit users in One Piece, so let's look at some of those now. Blackbeard would be an obvious choice. Now, there are multiple theories around having a mythical zone, but my favorite, and the one I came up with in my Blackbeard already has a mythical zone fruit video, is the idea of Blackbeard's darkness logo.
I know that you can't really like choose the fruit that you'll get, but if you could have like a god one, who would you turn into?
Actually being a darkness or night or moon god mythical zone.
Chat, I would probably turn into the Slavic god Perun. You know? I don't know. maybe.
Match Luffy's own such.
I wonder why.
Check out the video for full details and quotes that support this theory, but to keep things short, if Luffy's fruit could be mislabeled all this time, it's likely that his main antagonists could be as well. The parallels between these two have been focused on for a long time, with Blackbeard representing darkness and Luffy the sun.
I love how he has like
Even their
3
fruits
guns
look very similar,
and then
having
rum.
the same color and spiral. Once you look at all the evidence,
Nice,
including
man.
the fact that Blackbeard's fruit is consistently stated to be weird for a Logia, this theory starts to make a lot of sense, and I'll honestly be a bit disappointed if it doesn't turn out to be the case. Another theory is the one outlined in my Zoro already has a devil fruit video, link in the description. People who didn't watch the video were quick to comment, but he can't swim. However, the point of the video is not that Zoro himself ate a devil fruit.
They possibly could have a god one?
Could have the god of the underworld devil fruit, and so Zoro has access
Sorry guys, I'm still
to
sick.
a god fruit through his sword. Obviously, this would still let him swim, no problem. I won't go into all of the reasons this theory
That's interesting,
makes sense
actually.
here again, but it has a lot to do with how Enma is spoken of in the series in very similar terms to the way zones are spoken of, and also the way it does things
so
that
cool.
haven't been seen thus far from swords. It not only has a will of its own, but acts on its own, while Zoro tries to tame it. And remember that time when Zoro saw the personification of death and everybody thought, what was that? Yeah, that could have been the god of the underworld, and perhaps a sign that Zoro has awakened the
that's
fruit or
literally
is
death,
close
dude.
to it. Then there's Monkey D. Dragon. If anyone deserves a god fruit, it's this legend. It's already been all but confirmed that his devil fruit allows him to manipulate wind and more generally the weather, something that Kaido was able to do to the dragon god. I outlined all of this in more detail in my Luffy's That Is Stronger Than You Think video if you're interested, but for the sake of this video, let's go back to the Azure Dragon myth. The Azure Dragon, which Kaido's fruit is based on, is just one of 4 dragon gods, each
Phoenix,
of which is
Serpent,
associated with a
White
different
Tiger.
direction. The Azure Dragon is east, while the Black Dragon is north. The Black Dragon out of the others best fits Monkey D. Dragon, not only because he has black hair, but also because the Black Dragon is also called the Dark Dragon or Mysterious Dragon, both adjectives that fit Dragon's character well. If he were to have this fruit, it would easily explain how he was able to summon both the wind and lightning that allowed Luffy to escape from Buggy and Smoker back in the day. And you know his name is Dragon, which could be a not so subtle clue, although I'm sure there are people who
That's
would
cool
say
to learn about
dragon fruit
god
to a guy
fruits.
named Dragon would be too on the nose. But that's why we covered the confirmed god fruits first.
Even though it's like not a real category, but still kind of cool to learn.
And these final.
Thank you for watching this video, and also thank you very much to all of my supporters over at Patreon. If you'd like to see these videos earlier, head on to Patreon, and if you want to see more videos, click the videos here for more videos from me.